What the creepiest things that's happened to you at work? I worked a day job, a night job, and I was in college. So my sleep schedule was really fucked up for several months. One night, I was working alone. I did my work and had a few hours of downtime, so I tried taking a nap. I woke up to what sounded like someone inside the building, screaming nonsensically and smashing things, like some psycho broke in and was tearing up the room. I ran to where the sound was coming from, and by then it stopped. I didn't see anything weird inside the room. Everything was perfectly normal. I yelled, "What the fuck was that?" My own voice came out very slow and deep, like when you try talking through a yawn. "What's going on?" Same thing. I looked around the other rooms, and even outside. Nothing was out of order. I'm confident it was a hallucination due to lack of sleep. After that, I took steps to sort my life out so I could sleep like normal again, and I haven't had any more experiences like that. Damn, sounds like your body was awake but part of your brain was still asleep. Are you sure you even got up from where you were sleeping? I've had some sleep paralysis/hallucinations where I can swear I got up and walked into another room. Then suddenly I'm back in bed unable to move. I was a bank manager years ago. I was opening one morning, and when I went to open the front door, it was already unlocked and open. I asked the teller with me to get her phone out and to be ready to call 911. I opened the door and yelled, "Hello!" A little old man came out from around a corner with papers in his hand and said, "Can I make a deposit?" I told him we weren't open yet and asked him to step outside. We called police to ask them to come check the building with us. Turns out that our cleaners left the previous night without locking the door or setting the alarm. The branch was unlocked and free and clear for anyone to come in and wander around all night. A similar thing happened to a buddy of mine. Night shift left the door unlocked, and the next morning he came in to open up, and there was an old guy there who had a cart full of stuff, and he was ready to check out. He paid with a card, so the manager just unlocked the register and let him check out before the store opened. I had a friend on the other side of this, as in he left his workplace unlocked overnight. He worked in a small and very old theater in our city as the barman. He was always the last to leave the building as he had to cash up the bar and clean up. The theater was reputedly haunted. There's even a small group of graves from many years ago on the premises. One night he's already waved off the rest of the staff and theatergoers and locked the doors, so he's inside alone at the bar doing his thing. As he's cashing up, he has his back to the open room and he says he hears and feels as if somebody had jumped on the spot right behind him. He's freaking out internally, but doesn't react at all externally. He thinks he'll just slowly get the hell out and sort the money out the next day. He makes his way calmly to the cellar to retrieve his coat and bag. The cellar in this instance was a room on the same level, but down a corridor, but still called a cellar due to being the chilled barrel/keg room. As he's about to pick up his bag and coat, a hammer shoots off a nearby table many feet across the room and lands very near him. He just turns and sprints out of there, unlocking the front door lock that was just barred, as he left it earlier. The keys to the place were in his bag, and so the door remained unlocked and the alarm not set all night until he got an angry call next morning from his boss, who turned up to the situation as had been left from the previous night. Don't think he lost his job, but I think he quit anyway soon after because he couldn't be bothered dodging hammers at work after midnight each night. Don't blame him! Okay, I have a good story for this. I work at a thrift store, and the majority of our customers are senior citizens. I'm fairly used to customers asking what certain things in the store are used for. A few months back, this older woman, around her 70s or 80s, comes up to me holding a knife sharpener and asks me if I know what it's used for. I start explaining to her what it is and how to use it, but she interrupts me and says I know how to use it. I'm asking if you know how to use it. I'm a little confused at this point, but I nod and say that I know how to use a knife sharpener. She nods, closes her eyes, and says sharp knives are good. You're going to need one soon. And she walked off. To this day, that encounter creeps the hell out of me. I open and close my office, so I'm the first in and last out. Came in one morning, unlocked the front door, swiped my pass for the second set of doors, and the alarm didn't go off. Already deactivated. That's weird. All the lights were off, so the basement light shining under the door in the lobby was pretty obvious. That's weird too. We never leave it on. Heard some strange noises down there, so I had to go investigate. It's 3 flights to reach the basement. You can't see the top from the bottom. As soon as I stepped off the bottom step, I heard a noise and paused to listen. I realized the noise I heard was someone opening the door above me. Lights turned off, door slammed shut. My mind was racing. Did someone break in? Was I just tricked? Turns out our maintenance guy came in early for some burner maintenance. The weird sound I heard was the automatic reprime cycle. He put his tools away, then came back to turn off the light. I used to work as a tour guide for a ghost tour company. Basically, I walked people through the city, stopped at important landmarks, and told gruesome stories about what happened and the reported hauntings. Creepy things would happen, like guests seeing faces peering out of windows or them telling me they could see lights floating in windows. It was always the same window, and multiple guests from multiple tours over a 2-year period reported seeing them. Creepiest thing that happened to me while working was my last day. I was standing in front of the door to a house with plenty of ghost stories. This was also the house with the lights. At the end of my story, I thanked the guests and told them that this would be my final tour with the company. Everyone clapped, and I started to make my way down the steps. As I started to walk, I heard a voice whisper behind me. Before I could turn around to look, I felt a pair of hands shove me from behind, and I went ass over tea kettle down the stairs. Luckily, one of the guests caught me as I was falling. Some of the guests assumed that me falling down the stairs and saying I felt pushed with no one behind me was part of the tour. I've posted this elsewhere before, but I used to work at a family entertainment center that included a laser tag facility, among an arcade and other family fun things. Long wall of text ahead. Sorry for so much, but I've had lots of experiences. Everyone always talked about the place being haunted, and I never believed it because I don't typically believe in paranormal stuff. Until I started working in the laser tag facility. Now, if you've ever played laser tag, you know it's black lights. So of course, when the black and white lights are off, it's pitch black. Like, can't see your hand in front of your face dark. Of course we don't play in the dark, but important to note. We worked alone at the laser tag section and were responsible for explaining the rules in room 1, helping people get vested up in their gear in room 2, and then had to referee in the arena. So there are 3 different sections to this part of the facility, as well as a small office, where I spent a lot of time. The office was inside room 2, just across from the door that led to the arena. Also, the arena had back doors that led to the back of the parking lot. These doors remained locked from the inside at all times, but in case of emergency could be used. Important for a later incident. My first incident was my first night closing alone. One of the laser tag vests, which had been out of order all day and was 100% properly sitting on the rack, came flying up and over the rack, into the floor, ripping the charger from it and causing the vest to kick on. That scared the hell out of me. Second incident was Halloween 2013. Working with a coworker this night because it was busy, I was in the office checking vest battery levels while my coworker was outside running the register. There were no games going on, so all the rooms were empty. I heard what sounded like someone running up the ramp towards the vesting room, where the office is also located, and I looked at the door to the arena, fully expecting it to burst open and someone to run through. The footsteps stop, and it goes silent. Then there's a loud bang. I jumped and screamed and ran to get my coworker. He opened the door and we found a shoe in the floor that definitely was not there before. Also, we never found the other one, so that still bothers me when I think about it. Another incident was one night, 2 of our regulars were at the facility for their bowling league. Their kids wanted to play laser tag. I don't remember their exact ages, but at the time I'd say the girl was about 5 or 6, and the boy was probably 7 or 8. Just the 2 of them, they asked if I'd play too. I agreed, and we went into the arena to play. Midway through the game, the girl pops the corner, and I notice her vest is turned off, which can't happen unless it's done by the computer in the office. Then the music stops. So, of course, I flip shit and think the lights are going next. I was so sure someone was in the office who wasn't supposed to be. I ran out, threw the office door open, and the computer had crashed. Never happened before. I called the kids in to reset the game, and the little girl says she's scared and doesn't want to play again. I told them okay, and that I would refund their parents. I was helping her get the laser tag vest off when she said, "Hey, I have a question." I asked what it was, and she said, "Who was the man in there playing with us?" There was no man in there. It was just me, 19F at the time, and the kids. I told her there wasn't anyone else in there, and she said yes, there was, she could show me. She grabs my hand, walks me to the door and opens it, points up on the ramp and says, "See, he's right there." I told her I didn't see anything, and she goes, "How can you not see him? His hair is glowing." Edit. Wow, my first award. Wasn't expecting that over some of my creepy experiences I've had at work. Thank you. I worked at a very old restaurant one time, and no lie, it had a mouse problem. It was in a very old building, in a very old neighborhood. We caught a few live mice on a few shifts. I'm surprised the health department never shut us down in 27 years. Anyway, one night I was bartending, and I look over and see this young busser frantically waving at me. It was the end of the shift, thankfully. I almost immediately knew what happened. He was cleaning a table, and somehow a mouse ran under his foot, and he crushed it. He's like 6'4". Our 22-year-old busser killed a suicidal mouse. The worst part was this U-Girl server watched the whole thing. She watched him kill it, watched it wiggle around. We had to take her outside so she could cry while I scooped up Mickey and disposed of him. I'll never forget the look on Luke's face after he stepped on that mouse. I bought him a beer that night. I was working the night shift at an animal shelter. I went to take the trash out to the big dumpster out back, so it was super dark. And a car of guys drove by and yelled a bunch of inappropriate stuff at me and drove off. I flipped them off while they were yelling stuff at me. As I was closing up and putting up the cats for the night, I could see their car out the window parked right next to mine outside. The only two cars in the parking lot. I took a deep breath and got my pepper spray locked and loaded and closed up and went to my car. Their car was still there next to mine, but it was empty. I never found out who they were or where they went. The car was gone when I got there the next morning. Reading through this thread makes me feel like I need to get pepper spray when I get a job and start going outside more. This happened to me about 3 years ago when I was working in an advertising agency. I was working very late that night. It was probably close to 3 a.m. and as far as I could tell, probably the only one there at the time. If you were to walk into my department, you would see what is essentially a long and wide hallway with tall wooden cupboard desks on the left and right. The left would have 4 desks where the directors/seniors would sit, while the right would have about 8 desks arranged to create a cubicle space for the juniors. This arrangement is repeated 4 times along the hallway, essentially creating 4 segments of space which belong to a different team/brand. This also naturally creates an aisle walkway right through the middle. I have an aisle seat on the 3rd section, so when I sit down, I can't see directly in front of me because it's the tall cupboard desk thing. But leaning to the side, I can basically see the whole length of the hallway with a clear view of the desks in the 1st section. The 1st section belonged to a milk brand, so the top of their cupboards were stacked with many samples of milk cartons of different designs. So that night, as I was the only one there, only my section was lit with the ceiling fan on. I was typing emails and was already feeling uneasy with how dark the whole office is and the fact that it's FKing 3 AMAKA the witching hour. And it didn't help that my brain was reminding me of all the office horror stories my colleagues have shared over the years, like how this building was built over a damn graveyard. And suddenly, I heard a clattering of items, and I immediately peeked my head out, only to see down the hallway that nearly all the milk cartons at the 1st section have fallen. Looked up, ceiling fan was off. Mind you, there's no way the airflow from my section caused that, because the space between our sections is very big. So, if that wasn't a sign telling me to get the fuck out of the office now, then I don't know what was. Slammed my laptop shut, shoved it into my bag, and went straight home. I work in a hospital, so we get some real weird people coming through. Usually it's because of mental health problems and not really their fault, but it's still off-putting when you don't know how someone is going to act when you stick a needle in their arm. There was one guy who came in during a mental health crisis and had to be restrained by security twice before calming down. When I was finally able to go into his room to draw labs so we could start getting his medication under control, He was just wrong. I don't know what was going on in his head, but he obviously had no idea where he was, or that I was even in the room. He kept growling, and he had this wild look in his eyes that reminded me of a cornered animal more than a human. Thankfully, he didn't even notice me drawing labs, but boy did that one make me nervous. Used to clean a church alone late at night. There was a piano upstairs, which I thought was broken, which was why it was upstairs in the attic. One night I started hearing piano music from the attic. I immediately assumed someone was up there pranking me, so I went up and there was no one. When I turned around to walk away after realizing no one was there, I heard a loud bang behind this metal door, which I assume was an attic closet. Never worked the night shift again. Asked the one other person that worked night shifts. She confirmed weird shit happening was normal. I would never, I repeat, never have enough balls to walk up into that attic. I would have run out of there crying like a little baby and never gone back. Oh man, the urge to investigate is real. It's like I can either spend the rest of tonight in fear, waiting for something to pounce when I'm not ready, or forgetting about it and getting pounced unprepared, or I can face it now. Yup. My grandma taught us this mentality. You can either not investigate and tell ghost stories your whole life, or investigate and realize the ghost was actually just a coat rack. She has a hilarious story about having a dream about a demon baby. She then woke up around midnight and hears a baby crying in her garden, but it sounded off/not human. The cries go on for a bit, and she told herself she just had to investigate. Goes into the yard and shines the light on two cats doing the nasty. She says if she hadn't, she would have been haunted by demon babies her whole life, but now she is just haunted by the sight and sounds of cats getting it on.